Hello and welcome to yet another video of free speaking. Today is I think 21st or 22nd of October, and I'm not reshooting, but I'm again back to shoot my videos and into my usual the previous setup of where I used to shoot my videos, and this is a very great setup and also a very private and personal one, so you can be and you can do whatever you want to do at here. Personally, I feel this background is very great, and today is Diwali, so wishing you anyone whoever is watching the video, wishing you a very happy Diwali. And it's a very great occasion to shoot a video. I don't know, to shoot a video or whatever, but I was just a little free, was having a little private time, and I just thought that let me just do this. Because since last 3 days I was not able to, what do we say, was 1 second, yeah. So what I was saying, that since last 3 days I was not able to continue my daily streak of the free speaking, but yeah, today I got a chance, and I wanted to do, I mentioned in my previous videos that I wanted to do 2 hours of marathon of speaking continuously, and I am having 12 topics for that. I asked, just randomly asked the chat GPT to give me 12 random topics on which I can talk about to do the speaking marathon. So which and why? What is my purpose of doing this marathon sort of a thing? I had this constantly this urge that I just want to continuously speak. It's like kind of pushing your thoughts, like pushing yourself towards this genre of speaking continuously, effectively, qualitatively, quantitatively, and you'll get more and more used to what a good speech is, and we will have a more and more hands-on on good delivery of sentences and speeches and all this and that. So basically, just to make my English fluent, to make my speech fluent, to make my what do we say, representative skills more fluent, and a little, what do we say, not wonderful, but I would say to make it more effective. And I don't have exact word, I just do not remember that has again started happening. So I don't know whether my face seems a little dark, but I don't mind it. The background is great, and the environment is great, and everything is great. And maybe I can come a little bit closer to this so that you can just watch, and I can also be a little bit more comfortable with this. So I'm having these 12 topics, and I don't know, until then, maybe till 10 minutes I can talk about some random shit, and then I can start speaking for this topic. So yesterday was a match between India and Australia, and India lost the match because of the rain. It was continuously, India's batting innings was continuously getting affected, not but getting delayed and interrupted, right? India's batting innings was constantly, again and again, was interrupted was getting interrupting by rain again and again. So they have to come back for the bat, and then again rain. They have to come back for the rain and again rain. So it got to happen like that. Initially, it was a 50 overs match, then it came down to 35 overs, and then it came down to 26. And India had losing many wickets, and they had to just what do we say, push a lot to hit more and more boundaries to have more runs and to have more runs on the scoreboard, so that they can win a match, and this that and whatnot and blah 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 blah. I just don't know. I don't know. Like, it's a marathon, but yes, you can slowly and steadily, and you can just think about what you are speaking. Okay, exactly. That is what you have to do. Exactly what is that how to do. Um, Other than that, maybe just 1 second. I don't know. How should I make it possible? It seems a little there. I don't know. But this Apple's ability to kind of, what do we say, to to focus on one thing, like focus on one single object, and then just the kind of portrait mode sort of a thing, that blurring the others, the backside of the objects. And it's really very amazing feature for the Apple applications or Apple products or Apple phone. I just don't know how to speak. uh, but yeah, the camera quality is very great for the Apple particularly, and I'm finding it very nice. Maybe if I had my usual stand, on which I just can uh, put a phone and can shoot the videos. So it would be great if that would be better. I might be, or I might be using the back of the camera, right? What else can I speak about? I just don't know. Um, it's already been 6 minutes, and yeah, was talking about, yeah. So since a very very long time, I just wanted to do this 2 hours of marathon. I don't know, maybe I will be able to do this for 2 hours or not, because of battery storage of my phone, time limit of my thing, and many other, what many other restrictions and resiliences, and I also don't exactly know what else can I speak about. But yeah, this feels right. This feels great. It feels a little bit lazy, and I feel a little bit, not little bit, down, I would say. But I can sense that I am putting an effort. I have to put an effort for this much longer period of a speech. I have to constantly keep getting something into my mind and also interpret that into my words. So that's a very good exercise, and it's a tough one, but that is how you get better at something. Currently, I'm learning a very good instrument called guitar. Holy shit, the brightness got suddenly down. I don't know why does that happen. I don't want. Holy shit, this brightness is very much gotten down. I don't know. The video quality and all this has been totally changed because of this. Just because I just increase the brightness. Oh, nice. Wow. Just experimenting with this. I don't know. Seems great. So what else can I talk about? I don't know what else. So I was talking about. Hmm. So yeah. So I constantly have to put an effort of what am I speaking, what I have to speak, whatever thoughts which are coming into my mind. And also I have taken this 12 topics from the chat GPT. I have not done any of the research or any backside readings of behind these topics, and I just will be talking about this thing, about these topics at the moment, whatever comes into my mind and my thoughts and my words at that particular moment, and as per my current knowledge and the ability to speak about those topics, as per those only I'll be speaking. I have not done any of the research and studies and anything. I don't have any background of like this, but generally these are just general life related questions and all. So you just do not. It's not like social sort of a topic, which needs social or some technical sort of topic which needs a very much study or research, or at least some sort of a background. These are just normal general life related questions, and which everybody is having their personal opinions, and you can speak about those anytime, on any time. I just don't know what else. It's already been 9.5 minutes, and I can start speaking about those topics now. Right. Here are the 12 topics for 2 hours solo cast. Genuinely, I'm not sure whether I can stretch this out for the 2 hours, but we'll try. Okay, let's start with. So there is a first topic called why we struggle to be ourselves. Why we struggle to be. Talk about the masks we wear in society, fear of judgment, and how freedom begins when you stop performing. When freedom begins when you stop performing. Okay, right. So why do we struggle to be ourselves in the society? That's the first topic. Okay, topic number one. Why do we struggle to be ourselves in the society? Uh, right. Talk about the mask we wear in the society. Okay, that's a general and very understandable thing. That majority of the times we are not the way we are when we are in the private or when we are alone. Exactly, we are not performing, not performing, but we are not being that exact being when we are in front of the people, when we are amongst the people. There is a constant mask that we keep wearing, and of an identity, that okay, I am this identity amongst this certain set of a people. I am this type of an identity amongst this certain set of a people, and I am this when I'm alone. So most of the times you do not wear any of the masks when you're alone, and you're not performing at that time. You are doing exactly what you want to do because nobody's watching. You're in your private time because nobody's watching, because there is no judgment of people, because there is no expectation of people, because there is no expectation of you, right? So first of all, the question comes that why do we behave like this? That we are wearing so much of unwanted masks in front of the people, in front of society, in front of our social relationships and whatever. Why do we wear these masks? Let's say, why some certain person wear a mask? Because he does not want to be seen who he originally is to the other party. When let's say when he is afraid of, why do he wears a mask? Because he's afraid, he's even having a fear that if the other party or a person sees his original reality or his real face, right, at that time, what do we say, yeah, if the other person sees his original reality or the face, if the other person sees his face, I don't know, something else was running behind. That person will not give him a respect. That person will not give him the needed importance that the person that the person who is wearing the mask was expecting from that person. So by wearing that mask, by not being the real identity that he is, and by being something totally else, what he's trying to do is kind of, let's say, to be something totally else, because he is having some sort of an expectation, because he's having some sort of a lalach. He wants something from that person, and he thinks that I can only get that thing whenever I am wearing the mask, or I am performing some sort of a thing which will please the other party. So this is the original thing, is like he want to please the person. His pleasiness is going on, right? And why do we please other people? Because we constantly have this need of getting something in the return. That's the only reason. Let's say we have a relationship or something like that, in which we do not have any type of a thing which we want to get in the return. We all do have this sort of a relationships in which those are for granted, honestly, in which we do not expect anything. We do not listen to them very seriously. Same goes to other party. They do not understand you very seriously. They do not expect anything much from you. And so those type of relationships, I guess, we do not struggle to be ourselves. We do not care, because we do not care. Honestly, we do not give any F about that relationship. We do not give any F about expectation or reality or getting in return from that relationship, or towards from that person. At that time we are totally ourselves, generally speaking. At that time we are not wearing any mask, we are not performing in front of them. But generally when we go into society, we expect that they give us the respect, they give us the ijjat, and that expectation leads us to perform something else which we are not at all, and which is leading us to be wearing the mask of totally unwanted identity, which we are totally not. That's the reason that we constantly have a need to something, that I will get something from the other party by behaving some good. मैं अच्छा behave करूँगा, and that person will feel that this guy is a good, and he will recommend my behavior to someone else, and I'll get some sort of a benefit in terms of money, in terms of recognition or whatever, right? So that's I behave good because I want something in return, something in return. That's largely is the our conditioning is like that. Very few are the moments when we behave good because we behave good, because we want to behave good. Most of the time what happens is we behave good because there is an expectation and something we want in the return, and that's why we behave like that. There are very few moments when we behave good, or we behave certain way, some gooder way, some better way, some I don't exactly have a word, in which we do not have any expectation, any fear of judgment and whatever. We behave because we behave. That's called the sahajta, that calls the normalness, I would say, is a right word. But generally, when we behave in a certain way, in a certain group, it's largely because of an expectation or a fear of judgment. Fear of judgment is same, it's a wanting something from the other party. Let's say I behave my normal self, that I sit like this, let's say when I'm alone, when I'm in my free time, when nobody's there, I sit like this. But I will not sit like this in front of the other people when I'm in the office, when I'm in the corporate meeting, because what I have is a fear of judgment. And fear of judgment, why? That they will judge me, that this person behaves like this, and that can affect my relationship with other people, also will make me less to get more opportunities. Subconsciously we think like this. Also, human is a social animal. It wants the recognition and acceptance from the people or the society around them. So they want to follow the whatever rules that society have made for them. They want to, because they want the social acceptance of the society, so that they will accept them in their group, in their certain group. We are primates, and we always tend to be in a group. Human is a social mammal, because the moment that particular social group denies you, or what do we say, does not recognize you, or just get you out of their tribe, at that time you're alone, and at that time you're alone, and there is a threat of being alone, and you might get killed by the external predators, because you're not in the groups, and group can protect you. You feel that feeling of protection and hiding from the predators. But we are far away from that identity of being the primates. Now the social and societal games have been totally changed. The predators are different, the environments are different, but still our behavior of biology is like this. We want to be getting accepted by the society, and that's why we follow the rules of the society, instead of we do not like them to do. Instead of we do not like to be that identity, or the face, or we do not want to keep performing those things. in the society, and still we just keep doing and doing and doing and doing, because we feel that okay, I'll be part of them, I'll be having more information, more knowledge, my life will be more prosperous, more happy, and that will provide me more sustenance. That's why we keep being the masked people, or the, what do we say, performer all the time, instead of being what we truly are. And how freedom begins when you stop performing. Right. Right. So why do we struggle to be ourselves? Okay, so this is the core reason, let's say, that this is why we become like this. We are like this. This is the reason why we are like this, that there is a total expectation and we keep being what society wants us to. But why do we struggle to be ourselves? Uh, because our conditioning has become like this. A, our conditioning has become like this. B, we have a fear of judgment, I would say. We think that if I change myself and if I do not follow the societal rule, which society tells me to follow, if I do not follow this certain rule, I will be out of the tribe and will not get that much, what is approval or appreciation from the society or the group or the tribe. So first was that our conditioning is like has been like that. That okay, we behave certain way in the some certain situations and scenarios, and that we behave this way in shadi, in marriages. We will behave like this because society does it. We will behave like this in our schools because people around us behave like this. We will behave like this in our boards exam. We will behave like this. What do you say, in colleges? We will behave like this, that okay, whenever college fest come, I'll behave like this, I'll do that and do this and that, because my society, the people around me has said to me that okay, college fest is a thing, it's a massive thing, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, it's a entertaining thing, it's an opportunistic thing, whatever. So generally our likings and dislikings are also getting and being affected by the people and society around us, right? Right. And that's why what happens is we stop using our brains. We stop using our brains. There is a very famous dialogue from the Shivaji the Boss that झुंड में तो सुअर आते हैं, शेर अकेला ही आता है. Means like when you're being in a group, in a झुंड, in a bheed, there is no sense of self, existing sense of individual self. There is a group identity, and you do not use when you are in a group. You do not use your normal brain when you do not use your normal identity when you are being in a group, right? Yes, that is important to be in a group, but also you have to be an individualist always, individualist thinker always, right? So for that, I would say, so freedom begins when you stop performing. Is a last sentence that, according to this topic, freedom begins when you stop performing. Freedom really begins when you stop performing and start being yourself. What I was saying that some topic and I just forgot. I was speaking or saying something about some topic and I just forgot. Right. So when you stop being the part of the breed, but that's practically not possible. You constantly are part of some sort of a breed or some sort of a group or some sort of identity. Let's say you work somewhere, you're a part of that particular company and you have to follow the rules of that company. But being part of that company, how can you have a proper individualistic identity and mindset and thoughts and thinking? That is up to you. By being part of it, okay, तुम part हो, but you're not totally indulged into the group sort of a behavior and activity. Yeah, we do like to be in the group. Let's say we are watching a cricket match, we are in a group, we are, let's say, following some following some sort of a guru, we are in a group. uh, and human biology and psychology feels very much safety when they are in a group, because they find some belongingness. But this does not mean that you constantly have to be part of the group and be the what do we say, I forgot, be the part of the group's thoughts and thinkings and their ideas only. You also should have your own ideas and perspectives and all of things. So how freedom begins? When you stop performing, when you stop caring about the group, you seriously stop caring about the group, when you start caring for yourself. That seriously is the answer. And it means to be in an action also, right? This does not mean that I don't care, and which means that I will be behaving totally aimlessly and totally, what do you say, bluntly in the society. I will do anything which I want, will not follow the societal rule. No. Do not do like that. By following some certain rules and regulations and all, which is most practical way from which I can stay attached to the society by accept, and also by being part of the society. Sorry, stay attached नहीं, stay away from the society in terms of a thinking. मैं अपना दिमाग लगाऊंगा कि कहाँ सही है कहाँ गलत है, which is when you will got to realize, which is when you will have a mental development. And when you use your brain, seriously use your brain, when you stop, if you want to stop performing, use your brain. That okay, मैं ये कर भी रहा हूँ, ये क्या गलत है या क्या सही है? सही भी है कि let's say कुछ भी कर रहे, whatever, in the group, but is this exactly which I want to do? Just stop there and ask, what do you want, and do whatever you want to do by not being any harmful to the other people, right? So how freedom begins? When you stop performing, you no longer are a performer, you no longer are wearing or bearing the weight of the masks of false identity, right? When you do not care, when you do whatever you want to do. And I have a problem of this from a very, very long time, that sometimes I get very much conscious. You might have watched into my videos that I cannot do some sort of a things which I want to do in front of a people, because I feel like, of course, there is a fear of judgment, because there is an expectation that if I do this, or let's say expectation, or we have judgment of like they'll find that I'm a fool or a bullshit guy, this and that, because if I do this, I have expectation, and they will think in a certain way, and they will stop giving me an appreciation. They will think of me something bad, and they will stop giving me approval of whatever their thoughts are. That is what a feeling, that is what general subconscious feeling is. And that's why we all fear some, or most of the times, when we want to do something but are not performing, because of fear of judgment. So only solution to get rid of fear of judgment and stop performing, and to be able to stop performing, which we are not in the society, is to start asking yourself the question, this is right for me, is this the thing which I want to do, and is this the thing that which will provide me a little bit of substance, a little bit of something. Okay, let's say I want to do free speech, but is this the thing, but I'm not doing because people are around, but is this a thing which is providing me something? This is providing something to my identity, or which belongs to me? Then it's done. Then you have to do it. Then you have to do it, and you do not have to think of other people. That is what actually is the subtle art of not giving an F, right? You have to learn to not giving an F to the many things in the life if you do not want to struggle to be yourself. You have to think. You have to think. Individualist culture is not bad, but individualist in a right way is a good one, is the right one. Individualist culture bad in the sense is sometimes it's a bad, because I will do whatever I want to do. I'll kill tens and thousands of people, and I just will bother people in the society. That's total individual thinking, right? But that's not right individual thinking. That is not right at all. So you have to keep asking yourself that which is right and which is not correct for me and the society and whatever. Keep going and following the right path is a word when you truly want to be yourself. Just have to stop caring what others think and have to do things. You have to do things. That's the answer. Maybe, I don't know. Something good could have come, but only this much was. This much was what came. What else? What else? Maybe. I don't know. I don't wanna feeling it. Let me just take a little bit of break for 2-3 minutes, and we'll talk some normal shit. Power of solitude is another topic, but let me just take a minute, 2-3 minutes of break. Yeah, it feels great when you talk constantly about some certain topic, and when you keep speaking and speaking and speaking and speaking, and when you have to think about that and speak about that. That's a very good skill. Thinking is a good skill. When you can, Jordan Peterson's very famous quote is that if you can think, if you can speak, if you can write, you're deadly. You're absolutely deadly. Then nobody can stop you, because you have your own individual thinking. You have your own individual writing, and you have your own individual speaking ability. Through which you will never step back. And right, I watched this interviews of Shubman Gill, and he speaks with very total calmness, very much calmness. He knows what is he doing. It feels like from an interview, it feels like maybe it is an assumption or judgment or whatever, but it genuinely feels like he knows what he does. He genuinely and literally knows what he does. He's very much satisfied with what he's doing, and he's happy. Right? He's happy. He's happy. He's happy. And man can find happiness only when he's able to do what he wants to do. When he's not bounded to any set of a thing. He's not bonded or bounded towards anything. Because bondage will always create chaos into your mind. And you do not want that. You do not want that. If you want to live a good life now, you want a peace. You want a peace with your mind. You want a peace with your mind. And how does it come? When you are able to do what you want to do. I would say. Seriously, mental peace comes then. Also, there are some other factors as well, that let's say you're in some really bad situation. You're in a really bad situation. Let's say you're having the 3 cancer patients in your house. That's a terrible thing. That's a terrible thing to have. that's very very terrible thing to have, and you cannot bear that. At that time you do not have any option. At that time you do not have mental peace, no matter how much you do for yourself. There are three cancer patients in your home. You're not able to sit for a second, for a moment, with a single inch of mental peace. Then the situation becomes worse and worse. But still you have to fight. You have to fight. You have to fight. I don't know what's the solution for that. Let's say you are having a cancer patient in your home. That's a terrible situation. You will not be happy. Your family will not be happy. You will not have good days. Instead of, let's say, you are earning thousands and thousands crores. Say, let's say you're a cancer patient. But still, let's say if you are able to provide them a good quality of a treatment and they are getting out of that thing, that's a better. But let's say you're middle class and cancer is there. It's a terrible situation. Terrible situation. You no longer can sustain that. That's a tragedy. And tragedy does not come when you want them or when you do not want them. They just come automatically. You are there and everything is just done. Everything is done. So yeah, fighting through the tragedy is not everybody's thing. It requires a real man mindset. A real man mindset means real steel mindset to fight that and getting out of it and not lose your hope. Not lose your hope. Right. I think it's time to take another topic, the power of a solitude. Not loneliness, but solitude as a fuel of clarity, creativity, and resilience. Solitude. Not loneliness. What is the power of solitude is a topic. The power of the solitude. What exactly is the solitude? So there are three things: solitude, aloneness, and loneliness. What's the difference between these three? First is solitude. Solitude means when you're totally on your own. As far as my understanding of this topic, I'm not an expert. I'm not some great philosopher or whatever. I'm just a normal human guy, and I might be wrong. This is as per my understanding, and I'm not some philosopher or some speaker or some great thinker or whatever. I'm just a common man who's just having. I'm not a, let's say, psychology reader, philosophy reader, having any expertise of some sort these topics. No. I'm just a random guy, common guy, who's trying to just speak about these topics as per his current understanding of these topics as of now, at this certain age, at this certain period of time. So what I was talking is, power of solitude. So there are three things. What is solitude? What is aloneness? What is loneliness? I would say solitude and aloneness are almost similar. I don't find any gap in between, but let's find it out. What exactly is a solitude? Solitude means when you are alone, very similar to aloneness. When you are alone, when you're totally on your own, solitude. You do not want any outer worldly invasion into your mind, particularly. You might be in the touch with the people constantly. You're being in the society, you're being in the zund, you're being in the groups, in tribes and all. But still you're in a solitude. Solitude from the mind perspective. You're not being rely on those on the people, on the society. That is what called solitude, I would say. Solitude. But solitude is for clarity, creativity, and resilience. That you want some personal time. Not some personal time, but you are a personal guy. You have your own identity, individual identity, and you keep speaking about what I just forgot. You have your own individual identity, and you're okay being with yourself. I don't know, I'm not going this to step by step, I just don't know. Some random thoughts are coming, but still I struggle to put them A, B, C, D, E, F in the proper manner of the ladder. This is what I'm finding out as of now. I'm speaking about some topics. I'm having a lot of thoughts, but not able to put them properly throughout the speech. That's what is a very essential part of a good speaker. That he knows when to put what argument, not like speaking anything at any time, right? The solitude. What we see in the social media that follow solitude, total solitude music, solitude motivational videos, XYZ. What is our current understanding of solitude? Solitude as a concept being said, you are very much zoned into some certain task, or let's say your own self, yet you do not want anyone else. I would say uh, you're not bounded by the society. You are being alone. You're being okay with when you are, where you are, and working towards yourself, towards your personal goals or whatever. That's what I think is a state of a solitude, that you are enjoying or you are okay with being yourself. That's what called a solitude. You do not need any outer intervention to your society. Intervention of society to your identity. And you are being isolated because of your choice. Choicefully, you are being isolated. Uh, Choicefully, you're being isolated because you want something, and because you want some sort of a clarity. That's why you want to be isolated. That's why you want to choose to be alone. You want to choose to be separated from the society because you want to do some certain thing, right? Uh, what else can I talk about? This is what the solitude is. So not loneliness. So I think solitude and aloneness is almost similar. I don't find any difference between those. Like you are okay being alone with yourself, do not have any expectations or any need of society. You're alone means you're single again. Let's say you're with somebody else. So let me just explain you the difference between aloneness and loneliness. What happens is, let's say you are with somebody else in a relationship. That person goes. There can be two states. You're alone. Now you're from two to one, but you're not bothered by being one. That's when you're alone again. Okay, alone again. No problem with that. But what happens with loneliness? That when you are attached with that another party, and when it goes, you feels like your identity has been gone. Identity has been broken because you relied on the person. Now you're lonely because you're not okay with what you are as of now, what you were before that, because you got attached to the person so much that you are attached too much that you felt like lose of identity, and that's not the case. That's what a loneliness feels like. That's why a loneliness comes, that you feel like I am not enough, good enough. This one is not good enough. It needs to fulfill by adding 2, 3, 4. Then and then this one will be called 1. But let's say when this 2, 3, 4 are gone, this one is again a 1, because it truly is 1. No matter whatever, how many tens and thousands of other ones are joined to him, he's not gonna be anything different. He might be feeling something different because of some temporary societal changes or environmental changes, and he feels like, okay, I feel good and fulfilled and this and that. But the moment those other things and other people are gone, other ones are gone, you are with yourself. And when you are not okay with your one, that is when you feel lonely. That is what a state of God. That state is what called a loneliness, because he was relied on someone else. I don't know why did I just went to loneliness. So and when comes aloneness, I'm a alone wolf. It's okay whether you come, 2 comes, 3 comes, 4 comes. It does not, okay, I am one. It adds something to my identity. But let's say if they are gone, my identity is still my identity. I am myself only. Right? Let's say for a temporary period, you are adding something, some sort of a happiness, some sort of a substance to my life, let's say. But that does not mean that I am relied on you, because I am myself. This one is only one. This one getting attached to another extra ones does not mean that one will be something else, right? So this is a acceptance, not acceptance, but this is one being one always. Before that also he was one, after that also he is one. And that is what called a state of aloneness. And I'm alone, I'm okay. I mean, I think alone people, when somebody is alone, he does not find it bad at all. He does not find it bothered at all. And that's very similar to solitude. That you are solitude, you want your personal space, you want a personal fulfillment, by being with yourself only. That's what a solitude is, by doing what you want to do. That's a state of solitude, when you're alone. When you're alone, I would say, when you're alone, when you are not relying on someone else, when you are relying on yourself, when you are relying on the tasks that you want to do, when you are relying on the things which you want to do, that is a state of a solitude, I would say. And state of solitude is very much related to state of being yourself. And I'm totally okay with being myself. That is what a real solitude teaches you. Power of solitude. That is the real power of a solitude. That this is not a loneliness, but this is me being okay with myself. Also, this is me doing what I want to do. Whether people support me or does not support me, it does not matter to me. Whether things go according to my way or not, does not matter to me. Because the only thing which I have is me, and that's enough for me. That's enough for me. And don't find it any trouble. I do not find any trouble being that thing. Right? So that's what called a solitude, when you're happy with being who you are, and being able to do whatever you want to do when you are alone, not constantly relying on the approval of the society. That okay, when they will give me approval, when other ones will be attached to me, then and then I will do some certain things. No, that's a reliability, not that reliableness. Dependency, not an individuality or aloneness or solitude, I would say. So being solitude, being able to be with yourself, teaches you clarity that okay, this is myself, this is what I want. I want to go this direction. And it provides you a lot of clarity and creativity in terms of what are the different steps which I can get through and go through. And resilience of what? मैं अपने साथ हूँ ना, मैं कर लूँगा. I am with myself ना, I can do anything. That type of a mindset, resilience of not relying to the anyone. And if I am with myself, I can do anything. If I am with myself, I can do anything. It's not like totally neglecting other people, but being okay with yourself. Being okay with yourself. When people are not there, you are there. I am with myself, and I'm okay with myself. That's what a real solitude is. That is what a real solitude is.